In the summer of 1916, on the battered fields of the Somme in northern France, thousands of soldiers waited for orders that never came. The air was thick with smoke, rain, and silence between the barrages. Men stood in the trenches, unsure, listening for a command that would decide life or death. Many never heard it. The year is 1916. Europe is locked in a war unlike any seen before. The Western Front stretches from the North Sea to Switzerland, cutting through fields, towns, and the lives of millions. At the Somme, British and French forces prepare for a massive offensive. The plan is to break the stalemate, to push the Germans back, to end the war of trenches. The land here has already changed. Villages lie in ruins. Trees are stripped bare. Mud covers everything. Soldiers live in long, narrow trenches carved into the ground. Water pools at their feet. Rats move through the dugouts. Letters from home are clutched like charms. Every sound may signal danger. Every silence feels heavier than the last. Orders travel slowly along the lines. Messages pass from runner to runner, from officer to officer. The telephone wires, thin and fragile, run through mud and shell holes. A single break can silence a whole sector. Yet the army depends on them. So men wait. They wait for a whistle, for a wave of the hand, for a shouted word carried across the noise of artillery. Many of the men at the Somme are young, some barely older than boys. They come from farms, factories, cities. From England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland. From across the empire. They wear uniforms that already show signs of wear. Their boots sink into the ground. Their rifles rest against the trench walls. The smell of damp earth fills their lungs. The offensive has been planned for months. Artillery will pound German positions. Then the infantry will climb out of the trenches and advance. They have been told the enemy defenses will be shattered, that resistance will be light. But rumors spread. Some officers doubt the shells have done enough. Some soldiers have seen the strength of the wire, the deep dugouts, the machine guns. Still, they prepare. They check their equipment, adjust their helmets, read final letters, write unfinished ones. Some pray. Some joke. Some stare ahead in silence. They know that when the order comes, they must go forward. Whether they believe in the plan or not. Whether they feel ready or not. But on certain sections of the line, the message never arrives. The wires fail. The runner is lost. Confusion spreads in the shadows of dawn. Artillery continues to fire. Smoke covers the horizon. And men begin to act on fragments of command. Or on none at all. Here, in the broken fields of the Somme, soldiers step into history without knowing it. And many of them will fall before anyone realizes the mistake. The opening barrage rumbles like distant thunder. It rolls across the fields and into the German lines. The ground shakes. Dust rises from cratered earth. Men grip the trench edges, watching the sky brighten with each explosion. They believe this is the signal. Or they fear it. Either way, it feels like the moment has arrived. In many places, officers wait for confirmation. They watch the telephone. They listen for whistles. They count the minutes in their heads. But the line crackles. Then it dies. The connection is gone. The message does not reach them. In other locations, the sound of a whistle drifts over the trenches. No one knows where it began. It may be from a nearby unit. It may be an echo. It may be a mistake. But men hear it. and they respond. Training takes over. They climb the ladders, step over the parapet, move into the open. Across the Somme, small groups rise almost in unison, not as part of a grand design, but because the chaos of war has blurred every signal. Some officers hesitate. Others decide that the attack must have begun. They fear being left behind. They fear disobeying a plan they do not fully understand. So they give the order to advance, or they allow their men to go. The soldiers walk forward in lines. They have been told to maintain formation, to move steadily, not to run. They are weighed down by packs, ammunition, tools. The mud pulls at their boots. Shell holes interrupt every step. Ahead lies a broken landscape of wire, craters, and shattered ground. Then the machine guns open. The German positions, deep and reinforced, were not destroyed as promised. Gunners rise from underground shelters. They swing their weapons into place. They fire long, steady bursts across the open ground. The air fills with the sound of bullets. Men fall within seconds. Others keep walking because they have been told not to stop. For some units, there is still no clear command. They cannot advance. They cannot retreat. They lie in the mud, exposed, waiting for direction. None comes. Hours pass. The sun rises higher. Artillery continues to land around them. The wounded cry out. Runners are sent. Few return. In this confusion, bravery and tragedy mix together. Soldiers help each other forward. They drag the injured to shallow cover. They press themselves into the earth. They look back to the trenches. They hope for guidance that never arrives. The battlefield becomes a place of fragments. Fragments of orders. Fragments of plans. Fragments of lives. Men fight on instinct, on loyalty, on fear, and the cost grows with every passing minute. By midday, the fields of the Somme are scarred with bodies and cratered mud. The smoke hangs low over the ground. The sounds of gunfire merge into one continuous roar. In some sectors, entire companies have advanced without ever receiving official orders. They did what they believed was required. They went forward because that is what soldiers do. But now they are isolated. Lines that should have moved together are broken. Some units are too far ahead. Others have not moved at all. Communication has collapsed. Officers cannot reach headquarters. Headquarters cannot reach the field. Confusion becomes the only certainty. The men who advanced without orders find themselves trapped between the trenches. They are caught in what will later be called no man's land. There is no safe shelter. The ground offers little cover. Every movement draws fire. They try to dig shallow scrapes with their entrenching tools. The soil is wet and heavy. Progress is slow. Wounded soldiers lie scattered across the field. Some call for stretcher bearers. Some whisper for water. Many lie silent. Friends recognize familiar faces in the mud. They cannot reach them. A step toward them may mean death. So they watch. And they remember. Machine guns sweep the open ground again and again. Artillery bursts behind and ahead. The air is filled with fragments of metal and soil. The men cling to the earth. Hours stretch into what feels like days. They still wait for orders. For someone to tell them what to do next. None arrive in time. By evening, it is clear that the attack has failed in many areas. The cost is immense. Entire units are reduced to a handful of survivors. Others disappear completely. The soldiers who died without orders become part of the landscape. Their last moments known only to the men beside them. Or to no one at all. Reports will later describe heavy losses. They will mention gaps in communication. They will speak of uncoordinated advances. But the language will be dry. Detached. It will not capture the fear of lying under the open sky, waiting for a signal that never comes. It will not describe the quiet bravery of men who continued forward because they believed it was expected of them. As night falls, the guns slow. The darkness covers the field like a shroud. The Somme returns to uneasy silence. And the men who remain count the names that are missing. Night settles over the Somme. The guns fall silent. The fields grow dark. Only the wind crosses the broken ground. It moves through the empty trenches. It touches the fallen earth. It carries no orders. No voices. Nothing. The men who survive walk back to the lines. They move slowly. Step by step. Faces blank. Eyes tired. They do not speak much. There is little to say. They leave behind others who will never return. Spaces open in the ranks. Whole groups are gone. Boots remain. Rifles lie where they fell. Letters sit in pockets. Unread. Unfinished. Officers write reports. They choose official words. Losses recorded. Positions unchanged. Communication uncertain. The tone is calm. Detached. The meaning is heavy. The reality is worse. But the page stays clean. And the truth becomes thin. Far from the front, life continues. Trains run. Shops open. People talk. They do not hear the silence on the battlefield. They do not see the empty places. Names are sent home. Lists grow longer. Families wait. Many do not know what truly happened. They never will. The soldiers who advanced without orders are not singled out. No ceremony marks their actions. No speeches honor their confusion. They are folded into the mass of the fallen. They become part of a number. A line in a ledger. A statistic from the Somme. The battlefield changes with time. Grass grows over the craters. Trees return. The scars soften. Villages rebuild. Children play where shells once fell. Roads cross the ground where men once waited for commands that never arrived. Seasons pass. Snow. Rain. Sunday. The land forgets the exact footsteps. But the graves remain. Rows of white stones stand in quiet order. Some carry names. Some do not. Known unto God. The phrase repeats. It speaks softly. It tells of men who left without farewell. Who died without orders. Who vanished into the confusion of war. Visitors walk past the stones. They read the dates. 1916, they pause. Then they move on. Documents fade. Ink weakens. Files are boxed. Shelves fill. Histories focus on plans. On generals. On strategy. The small stories drift away. The voices fall silent. The soldiers become shadows at the edge of memory. Their words are gone. Their thoughts are gone. Their last moments are gone. Only the wind remains on the Somme. It crosses the open fields. It touches the stones. It slips through the grass. It carries the faint echo of a whistle. Or perhaps nothing at all. There is no final command. No final line. No clear ending. Just silence. And the memory of men who marched forward. Without orders. Then disappeared. Almost forgotten. If this story mattered to you, consider subscribing. More forgotten history is coming.